Good morning, 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 everybody. What's up? What's up? Happy Motivation Monday. Yet for today, we're going to call it a Mindset and Motivation Monday. Both of those combined for today for the next few minutes in this video. So for this Mindset Motivation Monday, in this video today, what I want to talk about, guys, is I want to talk about limiting beliefs. Now, before I do that, I want to give some people a chance to come on here real quick to see this video. So come on here when you can, when you get on here. Let me know where you're watching from. I love to see where people are watching from, and definitely I'm gonna be hopefully going live probably around 9 a.m. for the rest of this week, for the rest of these videos, these video trainings that I'm gonna be doing. Right? So. Anyway, yeah. So for today, guys, I want to talk about limiting beliefs, because limiting beliefs can be, in some ways, they can be helpful for us, and in other ways, they can be very detrimental to us, and they can stop us from taking action on the things that we would like to do, or the things that we need to do for our future and for our success. Okay, so you think of the word, you think of the words limiting beliefs. These are beliefs that literally constrain us in some way. Okay, so we may have certain beliefs about rights, about duties, abilities, permissions, on and on and on. Okay, now limiting beliefs are often about ourselves and our self-identity, how we feel about ourselves, and how we interact and what we do. But beliefs also can be about other people, okay, and the world in general. Okay, in any case, guys, they limit us. Okay, and I want to just give you guys just a few examples of some limiting beliefs. Okay, so limiting beliefs like I do not, I should have, I must not, I mustn't, I am not. One of my favorites, though, is I should have. I should have done something. I mustn't. Others will, or others are. If this happens, example, like if I don't get a good grade on this test, then I am a failure. The kind of if-then situation. So those are kind of some examples of some limiting beliefs. Now, the question is, why? Why do we limit our beliefs? Why do we limit ourselves? All right, now, one of the most interesting ways is through experience. Okay? A key way by which we form our beliefs about ourselves is through direct experiences. Okay, we act and we do something. Something happens in response or in relationship to that, and then from that we draw our own conclusions. Okay, now, and as I said, often, some of these beliefs are helpful, but guys, some of them can also be very limiting. Okay? And for a lot of us, a lot of these beliefs that we have about ourselves, they started when we were very, very young. Okay? So, when we're very, very young, what happens is we can form, these false and limiting conclusions about ourselves. Nature builds us to literally keep us out of harm's way. Okay, and this is an example of a limiting, of a belief that can be helpful. We learn and build beliefs faster than harmful experiences. Like, if you stick your finger on a hot stove, right, as a kid, okay, it hurts, right? That's something that hurts, so we are taught to believe that stoves are dangerous, and we never touch a stove again, right? Or we never touch something that's hot. That's an example of a belief that is helpful to us because it keeps us out of danger and out of harm's way, right? So that's what I mean by kind of our experiences, okay? Education. Our beliefs can come from education. When we are forming our perceptions of the world around us, guys, we cannot just depend on our experiences for everything. Okay, what happens is we read and we listen to people that are in authority. You know, we're taught as kids, you know, listen to your parents, listen to your teachers, right? You know, because they are the smartest people in the world, and they will tell us if we're doing something wrong, and always listen to them, right? So the interesting thing is, not all parents, not all teachers, they don't always know kind of, you know, how the world works and how to behave in it. Okay, our teachers are not always that well informed. Okay, what happens is we can also learn from our peers. You know, other peers and people that we spend the most time around, and we can be infected by their beliefs. Okay, which at the same time can also be very limiting to us. All right, so that's a kind of another example. I think another one is those excuses. Don't hear about that one? Excuses. Another reason that we may use like kind of faulty logic and form limiting beliefs is to excuse ourselves from what we perceive to be as failures. What we perceive to be our failures. When we do something and it doesn't work, what often happens? We explain away our failure by forming, you know, beliefs that justify our actions, right? You know, and kind of leave us not to blame. What happens is we blame other people, or we blame circumstances around us. Okay, but what happens when we do that, guys? We don't learn. We don't learn at all. Okay, we do not learn, and what happens is we build and we put ourselves into a corner. Okay, we limit ourselves, put ourselves in a corner, limiting what we think, and what we'll do in the future. Okay, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. Okay, limiting beliefs, guys, can be extremely debilitating. Okay, debilitating. That's the word. Debilitating to ourselves. Okay, now I want to give you an example of an extreme. Okay, I want to give you an extreme example of a limiting belief, and I want to use the one should have. I should have done something. I should have done this. Guys, we can't go back into the future. All we can do is look to the future. Okay? And try and make the future a little bit better. Okay? There is a show from the 90s and early 2000s, and one of my favorite characters on this show says this: there's nothing you can do to change the past. You can only work to make the future better. Okay? If you guys want to know where that quote came from, leave me a comment down in the comments below. I will tell you. I definitely will tell you where that came from. Okay? But it really is true. You know, we don't have the ability to go back into the future yet. Okay? It's 2018. We don't have that ability to go back into the future yet. Okay? All we can do is focus on our future. Okay? So as I said, I want to give you guys an extreme example of I should have done something. Back in 2011, my mother was diagnosed with cancer. Right? But the interesting thing is, about, I think it was 5 years prior to my mother getting diagnosed, she had a mammogram. And at this mammogram, they had found something. I guess in her breast at that time. My mother did not do anything about this. She did not do any follow-up. She did not actively pursue any treatment at that time because, again, she was scared. When she was diagnosed in 2011, one of her initial thoughts was, in addition to "I am going to fight this, I am going to beat this," was, I should have gotten help back then when this first happened. I should have done this, or this would not be happening right now. Again, there was nothing my mother could do to change the past, to change what had happened. All that my mom could do was look toward the future and getting the treatment that she needed and wanted to get for herself. By the time 2011 had rolled around, that cancer that they found in her breast in 2000, I think like 5 years prior, was in her breast, in her head, and a line of tumors down her spine. Okay? There is nothing any of us can, again, guys, that is an extreme example. But that is extreme example of I should have done something. Okay? I'm going to give you a less extreme, I'm going to give you, guys, a less extreme example as well now, too. Let's say you are on your way towards somewhere. Let's say if you still have a 9-to-5 job and you work in an office, you're on your way to work and you get stuck in a horrible traffic and you're just sitting there in traffic in a standstill and you know that you're going to be late for work. The one thing running through your head is, I should have left earlier. I should have taken this route to work. Then I wouldn't be in this traffic. Again, you're sitting in the traffic now. There is absolutely nothing you can do about that now. The one thing that you know for sure is that you can. In the future, you now know that what you can do is leave earlier so that you're not stuck in this traffic, or you can take a different route. Sometimes that is out of someone's comfort zone. And getting out of our comfort zone, guys, is the way we learn. Okay? So that's a kind of less extreme example than the one that I told you about my mother, with the I should have done something, or this won't be happening now. Okay? So again, guys, that's just those are just examples of some of those limiting beliefs. Now, we all know that we have some type of limiting beliefs about ourselves. It could be about our personal life. It could be about some of the people around us. Okay, it could be about the world, how we see the world in general. All right, so what I want to do is I want to give you guys kind of a little bit of some tips to kind of help you to start trying to really overcome those limiting beliefs. Okay? And the first thing, one of the first things we need to do is we need to isolate the belief. Isolate it. The first thing we need to do is consider what the belief is that is limiting you. Okay? Literally figure out what it is. A lot of us, guys, we make these limiting choices, without realizing that they're based on flawed or limiting beliefs. We make limiting choices, not realizing that they're based on limiting beliefs. Okay? So, the thing to do, guys, is to figure out times, when you've done something or have not done something that seem to limit you in some way. Then the thing to do is to ask yourself, okay, what beliefs that do I have that led me to this choice? Okay, that led me to where I am right now. The key here is to keep digging and really isolate that one belief and figure out where the heck it comes from. Okay? So that is kind of the first thing that we need to do in order to really, really start getting away from those limiting beliefs. The second thing You've now isolated it. You now need to seek the source. So you have this limiting belief. Now you had to figure out, where the hell does it come from? Seek the source. Think back to when you first actually had that belief. Was it when you were a child? Was it you had heard something from a teacher? You had heard something from a parent? You had heard something from a friend? Literally figure out and seek where this source is. Are you holding this source because you were told to? Because it helped you one time? Figure that out. Figure out the source, exactly where that source is coming from. Okay? The next thing to do, so we've isolated the belief, and we have figured out where it came from. The next thing we need to do, and this is probably the most important thing that we can do, guys, recognize the falsehood. Recognize how false or how untrue it is. Alright? So, we really need to really just recognize how false it is. Okay? In isolating, the belief and seeking out the source, guys, what you may be realizing is that belief is literally, already just what it is a belief. A belief that's limiting you, that's limited and limiting. Okay? You need to take time to reflect on it and realize the full extent of it. This is called really challenging what that belief is. If your belief is, I am a failure, recognize the falsehood in that. You must have succeeded at doing something. The fact is, you're here and you're alive. Okay? So, I am a failure. I am unlovable. No one loves me. It's another one. Is that really true? Recognize the falsehood. Really dig down deep into it. And by recognizing the falsehood, what happens is we're able to form those empowering beliefs about ourselves. To form those powering beliefs, guys. When you want to change a belief, you want to make a change, what happens is we need an enabling belief that's going to replace the old one. Okay, and sometimes you do have to be careful with these because you have to make them realistic. Okay? So that one is always very, very key. And then another thing that is really, really popular is you really need to create the evidence of your success. Okay? A good starting point, guys, is to really start looking at it as if. Okay? Act as if the belief were true. Okay? The most powerful and unshakable beliefs, guys, are those that are based on a lot of evidence. Alright? So, now you've recognized, you have challenged your limiting beliefs, and you have found empowering beliefs to really, really help you and to really guide you towards success, toward whatever you want to do. You need to start now creating evidence. Alright? Keep building your evidence until that limiting belief seems like, what the hell was I thinking? Okay? That is the key. That is what you need to do. Alright? So, that is what I wanted to talk about today, guys. Those limiting beliefs can really, really break us down. And I actually want to give one more example. This is something that I did not plan to talk about, but it is something that I do want to talk about because it's important to really, really get rid of those limiting beliefs about ourselves. Okay? At the end of June of this year, a friend of mine, she was having a difficult day, a very, very difficult day. And she has a list of people to call when she's having a very, very difficult day. And one of the people on that list is myself, is me. So throughout the course of that day, my friend was calling me because she needed some support. That day, I had my phone on silent. because I was working on my business and my phone was on silent. So I did not realize that the phone was ringing, and I did not realize that she was calling me. Around 4 o'clock p.m. in the afternoon, I then happened to look at my phone and I saw all of these missed calls from her. And I tried calling her back continuously. I tried calling my friend back, over and over and over again. I didn't get an answer. I got no answer. About 20 minutes later, I get a call from my friend's sister. And my sister had told me that my friend was taken to the hospital because she had tried to kill herself. So of course, the main thing going through my head was, oh my God, why did I have my phone on silent? I should have had my phone on me. I should have had my phone on vibrate. All of the should haves just running through my head. It was about an hour later that my friend's sister called me back again and told me that she died. What this did is this brought on guilt. This brought a lot of guilt, but also a lot of limiting beliefs that really, really tried to really tear me down. And I'm going to be honest, they did for a while. They did for a long time. And this is a prime example of having people around you to really help you, to really help empower you. Because I had two friends that gathered around, two of my other friends that gathered around me and really, really helped me. Helped me to kind of boost me back up. Right? So, again, that is an extreme example of I should have. And for a while, it actually got me away from, focusing on my business and focusing on what I needed to do for myself. Because I didn't feel that I was worth it at all. Okay? So, again, that is an extreme example of what a I should have limiting belief would be. Okay? Not all of them are that extreme. You have to figure out what your extreme is. Alright? So, I hope that you guys got a ton of value out of this post today. If you did, please give me some hearts, give me some likes, give some comments down below. What have you done to really overcome your limiting beliefs, the limiting beliefs that wear you down and that weigh you down through, if it's your business, through your business success, your personal life success. Alright? I will leave you guys now. I hope everyone has an awesome and fantastic Motivation Monday. Okay? Stay positive, stay motivated, stay focused on your big dreams and goals. I hope you all have an awesome, awesome one. I will talk to you soon. Love and peace to all.